is Adam from motoandwifi.com, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about the 3 mobile broadband SIM card, specifically the pay-as-you-go version, and how we can set up and use that SIM card both in the UK and abroad. Now there is some limitations which we're going to go through in a moment. We're also going to cover off setting up your device in order to get the most out of the SIM card. We're going to cover topping up credit and managing your credit balance. And also we're going to cover off some advanced features and settings which might just help you if you're having some difficulties. Now this is the SIM card. We sell it here for £9.99, and that's with a £10 1GB package preloaded onto the card. You can use a SIM card in any of the Feel at Home countries, which are Austria, Denmark, Finland, France, Italy, Ireland, Norway, Sweden and Switzerland, and also from the 1st of April 2015 that will also cover Spain. There's some other non-European countries included as well, and New Zealand will be added along with Spain on the 1st of April. Now in terms of packages, there's 4 packages available to you, and that is either £2.99 valid for 24 hours, which gives you 500 megabytes. You get £10, £15 or £25, which gives you 1, 3 or 7 gig of data, and all of those packages are valid for a period of 30 days. So whether you use that data or not, after 30 days from the day that you activate the package, that package will expire. So let's go ahead and look at some of the limitations. Well, there only really is one main limitation for the pay-as-you-go SIM cards, and this is the limitation here, and that is the fact that in terms of actually using the SIM card abroad, 3 don't want you to use it abroad in a Feel at Home destination for more than 3 complete months. So that could be a complete month in which the SIM card isn't used outside of France, for example, or it might not be used outside of France and Spain if you're travelling between the two of those. So in order for your month not to count as a complete month, there has to be one day within it at least where the SIM card is registered on a network other than Feel at Home network, and we hope that's probably all that's needed to keep the SIM card current. Now actually we've been selling this SIM card since the Feel at Home package was added, and I'm not aware of first hand actually any customers who have been deactivated or had their SIM cards cancelled, or at least not pay-as-you-go SIM cards cancelled for foreign use, and that's because the pay-as-you-go SIMs are a bit more limited in terms of the amount of data you get. It's not like the unlimited mobile phone package that you can take abroad and only be able to use 25 gig. It's quite a bit more data than this. In terms of actually setting up the device, because this is a mobile broadband SIM card, we've got this into a wireless MiFi device, and this is a Huawei branded device. You probably have your mobile broadband SIM card into a similar device, or you might have it inserted directly into your iPad. If you are using a MiFi device, there is one thing that's worth mentioning, and that is that this complete web interface with the Huawei device doesn't always load on a tablet. You might like to go to the iOS App Store or the Google Play Store and download an app called the Huawei Highlink app, and that will make your MiFi device much easier to use. It gives you ease of access to some of the advanced settings. This is just a standard Google Chrome web browser, and to access this page I would just type 192.168.1.1 and your MiFi device will most likely be on the same address. Now to get into some of the settings we want to change, I've just got to press on settings, and the default username and password is both admin. And this then gives me into the dial-up settings. Now we don't want to be going down the route of a quick setup. We want to be manually delving into some of these settings. Now the first thing I'm going to do is go into profile management and manually set the profile. Now the MiFi device has correctly detected the APN here as 3 internet, but I'm going to go ahead and fix that anyway. And the reason for that is that if I do have any difficulties with connection abroad, I want to be sure that the APN isn't the reason for that. Now the name can be anything. I'm just going to call it 3, and the APN is the number 3 and the word internet. We can go ahead and save that, and this has now become the default and active profile. Under mobile connection, the other thing I've got to do is enable data roaming. Now by default your device will have this turned off, so you're going to have to go and find this setting and enable it, and 9 times out of 10 when we have customers with difficulties using SIM abroad is because the data roaming hasn't been activated. So I'm going to go and apply that. You get most likely a scary message come up which will tell you that you may incur additional roaming charges. That's not the case. You won't incur additional roaming charges in a Feel Like Home country, although there are a few scenarios where you might do, so we're going to keep an eye on that in a moment. And that's been successful, so we can now open a new tab in the web browser, And I'm going to go ahead and type in most home Wi-Fi, and also the address bar in Google Chrome also doubles up as the search bar, and you'll see that nothing's actually happening at all, and that's because secure search, which is Google's preferred and default method of searching, doesn't actually cause the redirect to load. Now I actually have to go and remove the S out of HTTPS to get redirected to this run out of credit page. There is an easier way, and that would be to just type in www.3.co.uk, and that will bring me to a cut down version of 3's regular page. And where we're trying to get to is the My 3 account option here on the top right. So I can click on that icon, on that button, and then go through into the main 3 account area of the site, which gives me access to all the important features that I need to be able to manage my account. Now, it's worth noting at this point that we actually haven't had to sign up anywhere. We've not had to create an account or send a text message to validate who we are. Just by connecting through the SIM card, even though we haven't got any credit on the SIM, we can get as far as this 3 page. So, that's the same case as if you're in the UK or abroad. And what we're looking to do here is top up our account. So we can press on the top up account option, and that will load up another page which gives me quite a few options, and this is where it starts to get a little bit more complicated, so do try and bear with me at this point, and I'll try and explain it as best I can. So there's 2 distinct options here, and a lot of people don't actually get any further than this, and it looks quite confusing about how you would add fluid credit, so credit not a package. If we scroll further down, there's actually 2 areas. We've got an option to choose a data allowance, and we've got an option to just add credit onto the device without actually activating a package. Now, one of the limitations of the 3 SIM card is if you were abroad, you wouldn't actually be able to add credit to the SIM using your credit or debit card. You'll only be able to top up by voucher, but of course you won't be in the UK, so you can't actually go and buy a voucher. So how do we get around that? Well, if you wanted to buy a voucher normally, it would be just a case of going into a supermarket or a fuel filling station and asking them for a 3 voucher. If you were outside the UK, you'd have to go somewhere else, and unfortunately there is a company that's set up a website called Recharge My SIM, and if you visit tinyurl.com/3topup, so the number 3 in the word top up, you can get to this page and you can add a 10, 15 or £25 or purchase a 10, 15 or £25 voucher, and that 16-digit number will be emailed to you within 4 hours. So of course you're going to need an internet connection to get this far. Assuming you've already got a voucher perhaps and you want to activate it, you can do it only by adding a package. So you can't add just fluid credit to your account using a voucher, you have to actually add a package. So I'm going to go ahead and choose to add the £15 package. Choose that option and press next, and that will show me 2 options in which I can use to add the credit. So if I just make sure that page loads up, of course the pages don't tend to load quite as quickly when you want them to, and you can see that you've got the option to either add credit via credit or debit card or by voucher. So the voucher option is where we would type in the number. So we select voucher, we'll choose to proceed to the next step using the voucher, and at this stage we'll be then prompted to add our 16-digit voucher number into this field here. Now, if you bought a £30 voucher, for example, what would happen at this point is you would add a 3 GB package valid from the day that you add the voucher in, and then the spare £15, because you'll be paid up with a £30 voucher, would just go into your standard credit balance. So if you're going away for 2 months, for example, and you envisaged you were using 3 GB per month, and you didn't want to add your credit or debit card details, or you didn't want to pay with credit or debit card, that's one of the ways in which you could add some credit onto the account. The other option is, of course, to add some credit before you go. So that is where we use the option that was available to us on the previous page, which is this option here, going abroad, credit my account, and we can add anything up to £50, and you would just go and pay with a regular credit or debit card. Now there is an issue with having an account balance, and I'm going to try and explain that to you now. in a 3 feel at home country, you're only going to ever be charged these packages here. So your 1 day, 1, 3 or 7 gig, you've got to opt into those packages. If you go to Germany and you don't have any credit on your account, and you have one of these packages active, nothing will happen. Your device won't function and you won't be able to go online. If you go to Germany, and regardless of whether you have a package active or not, if you have credit on your account, you will find that you will be charged 19 pence per megabyte in order to access the internet. And that is 3 standard roaming rate. Now that actually might be something you want. If you're in Germany and you're stuck and you need to get online, 19 pence per megabyte might be worth paying. There is another issue though, and that is you might actually be in a feel at home country but quite close to the border. So if you're right on the border between France and Germany, perceivably your device may jump onto another network. So we're going to cover network selection here. So we're going to go back into the MiFi device, back into the settings, and we've been logged out, so we have to log back in again. And within the settings, we're going to this time look at dial-up and network settings. Now there's 2 sets of settings here that are of interest to, and that's going to help you to have a better quality of connection. And that is preferred network mode. So we can actually choose here 3G only, which means that the device will only connect to a 3G network. And that means that in France, for example, when you can connect to either Orange or the network free, this device should pick the one with the best 3G reception. It doesn't always do that. If it's connected, it probably won't be jumping around too much. Or you can enable manual network selection. So by enabling manual network selection, you're able to actually choose which network you'd like to connect to. So I'm going to go ahead and run a search, and it's going to disconnect me. And while that's searching away in the background, I'm just going to run through you the roaming partners that you can use the device on. So the 3 SIM card isn't actually a true roaming SIM card. If it was a true roaming SIM card, you could use any available mobile operator. It's not. You could only use its preferred roaming partners. So for Austria, you could only use one network. In Denmark, you only use 3's own network. DNA in Finland, and as you can see, some of the other countries such as France and Italy, you've got a couple of options which network you can use. So if you are in one of these countries, what it might be worth doing is making a note of these networks that you can choose. And if you have enabled manual network selection, when this loads up, you'll actually be able to pick one of those networks. Not only will you be able to pick the network you'd like to connect to, provided it's on that list, you will also be able to choose the standard of connection, maybe a 3G or a 2G connection. And this process does take quite a while to scan through and give you a list of all the networks. Now I'm not abroad at the moment, so it's only going to show me UK networks, so I won't be able to connect to those. But that's one of the main features of the MiFi device. So just to recap with regards to the 3 website, to get this far we haven't actually had to create an account, we've not had to sign up anywhere. All of the features that we need to access are available to us without needing to create an account, and it's really quite straightforward if we want to manage the account this way. You can see now that the network list is loaded back in the MiFi device web interface, and we can choose either to connect to 3 or O2 or Vodafone, but obviously none of these are actually roaming partners, so we're not able to select any of those at the moment. So that's pretty much it for running through the 3 pay-as-you-go mobile broadband SIM card and how to set that up for foreign usage. It's a really good SIM card. You're not going to do much better than that. In fact, you know, the 3 SIM card does actually rival some of the home network's own tariffs. So it's a really good deal for those who travel into Europe. Just be mindful of some of the limitations of the SIM, and just to recap, those limitations are if you want to use it more than 3 consecutive months in a network other than a UK network, you want to try and use it in a non-feel at home country if you can, and also if you are operating close to a border that is a not feel at home country such as Germany, you want to make sure that you manually select the network, and so that your device doesn't accidentally go onto a German network. And that's only if you've got fluid credit in your account. If you haven't, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to be charged any different. So I hope that's a little bit clearer. If you have got any questions after watching this video, please do contact me. My email address is sales@motohomewifi.com and I'll be pleased to help. Thanks very much.